any sort of life purpose is really what pulls you through these things, and just through life in general. My life purpose, I word it differently sometimes, but I'm trying to get people to care about each other on the earth so that we don't fuck it up. It's kind of fucked up already. We have to be, as one of my favorite scholars, Sylvia Rivera Kitsikapi says, we need to be good inheritors of the past. So to not think too much about the future. So you have this little box here to kind of start brainstorming about what you would think about for your life purpose. Like, why are you doing what you do? What are you striving for? What's behind the things that you do? Does anybody else want to share life purpose?
To flourish and help others flourish.
Nice. I'll just say that just in case anyone didn't hear it. To flourish and to help others flourish. Yeah, so it can be really basic, you know. It's not a goal. Olivia?
To inspire people.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody think of one right now? I'm just going to take you through and you can kind of work on the worksheet. Sorry, this slide is really bright. I made it white. Olivia kind of wanted me to do it the same color, but now it's too bright. So I put money on here as a joke. I mean, if your value is having financial stability, I am not mad at you. But you know, I would hope that. So the sheet before that has. I think I took the slide out. No, I didn't. It's right there. Okay. So you do have this on a worksheet. I have other lists of values, but I pulled this one just because it's pretty simple. So if you want to, you can kind of underline or star or circle some of these that kind of stand out to you as values. And then at the bottom, you can write in other ones that you feel like your values are. And I'm going to give you a minute to do this one because this is going to relate to the next part that we're doing. Yeah, we're doing it in stages. So we're doing the values part now. So if you want to use the values worksheet to fill out the values part, I'll give you a few minutes to work on those two first parts. Does anyone have a strong value that they feel they have that's not on this list?
All for one and one for all. Like that concept a lot.
Like the Three Musketeers?
Absolutely.
Yeah!
I want to think it's amazing, but could you give some context on what that means to you?
There's a concept out of Africa called Ubuntu. And the concept basically boils down to I am who I am because of who we are. And those are interchangeable. We are who we are because of who you are, who she is, and I am. And so I find that the whole one with all concept is very much about acknowledging individuality and individual sovereignty, liberty, but at the same time, really, really, really embracing the idea that collectivity and togetherness are how Mars is attainable, how the future is bright, how everyone, no matter where they are in life, no matter who they are in life, can reach their potential if we get people together on the same team. Yeah, so that's, yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Thank you.
When I think of some of my values, I think about harmony and inclusivity.
Yeah. Taking risks.
I don't know how to put it in a single word, but it's if something is worth doing, it's worth doing right, and not just the execution at the moment. But if you actually care about something, learn how to do it as best as possible, rather than settling for what you can't achieve.
Indeed, like doing the right thing right first time.
I mean, maybe, or just don't stop until you get it right. All you can do is try, and then just don't stop trying.
Maybe tricky in software development where there are deadlines.
Just do the best you can and then you make it better. I'm oversimplifying.
No, I really like to hear you say that because I've heard horror stories and it makes me feel better about like you're a software developer saying that.
And also, what I hear in that is like not doing things half-assed. I'm a full-ass person.
Or not letting the deadline necessarily rule everything.
Yeah.
Being able to get back into it.
I'm just gonna flip to the next one. You guys can keep working wherever you are. Yoda! I get excited about Yoda. Okay, so mentors. Mentors can be people that are in your life that you talk to about your life and your goals and that encourage you. I have a mentor here. Where is she? Laura in the house. I don't know where she went, but she's my fearless leader. Mentors can also be people that inspire you that you don't know. Most of the people that wrote these books are mentors of mine. I like to watch a lot of TED Talks, and I feel like I get a lot of mentorship through that. So just kind of think about who your mentors are. Ani DeFranco has been a mentor for mine in my teenage years on, 15 years. Whose words resonate with you? Anybody want to share any mentors that really stand out to them? Whether it's somebody like a teacher or a guidance person or coach, or somebody that you look up to that's doing awesome things in the world?
There's a guy background from Dr. Larry Cohen's. He's a civil engineer. He teaches engineering at a community college background from. And one of the things that's always impressed me about that guy, because if I'm being honest, Christianity has not exactly been painted in the best light in the last 10 years or so, especially more recently. And especially living in the Bay Area, I've become to appreciate him so much more because he's a man of faith, but he's a man of faith who actually practices Christianity as I think it's meant to be practiced, where he doesn't care about anything other than who you are. And he's just got this great sense of compassion because I've really struggled in my life. And he's somebody who I know that I can always go back to if I'm having a hard time or if I'm having, sometimes they're always like, oh, yeah, I'd like to, because I want to see me doing good things. But his sense of compassion for people who are not normally people that Christians like is what really, makes me want to be like him. Because he loves people. Because this is the message that I thought that Jesus was trying to teach, was one of, it doesn't matter what your religion is, it doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're of a race that everyone else in your culture hates, none of that matters. What matters is that you're a human being and you're valuable, right where you're at. And this is a guy who is intelligent, he's a successful engineer, he's very, very bright. He starts a religion that is kind of fallen along the wayside in a lot of ways in modern times, but he still holds that value in a way I've never seen anyone else do. So it inspires me to be a better person.
No, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. These are a lot of the qualities that mentors are great for.
I had a professor in undergrad who was very much a mentor to me, inspirational. The moment that stood out for me the most was the final paper. He didn't want just the final paper where you follow the rubric, etc. He wanted a final paper where, based on what you went through in his course, you taught him something you discovered during your process. Mm-hmm. And that really still echoes with me, because that sort of collaborative learning and the non-expectation of regurgitation, for me as a student at least, and I know it was powerful for some of my peers as well. And, yeah.
Thank you, that's awesome. It's beautiful. I think that, we need each other, We're not meant to go through this life alone. And having mentors and having people that we mentor also is really, really important. We also did that exercise earlier about the mentor and each other. A lot of it is like sharing your stories, but also asking, about mentors want to learn from you too. So goals is the next part. One of the things that comes up around goals a lot is SMART. Specific. It is SMART as an acronym. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound. The thing about goals is that they are not standalone. It goes along with all these other things on the list. If you are incredibly goal-oriented and you're not worried about your values or your purpose or anything like that, then it's empty. You achieve the goal and then what? So that's why we're going to do this next worksheet. Which feel free to take your time on that page, but the next worksheet is getting from values to action. So here's an opportunity to, I wrap this around AI because this workshop is based around artificial intelligence, but you can really do it on anything. You don't have to follow that particular instruction. But identifying a value that influences your interest in AI. So this could be something from your values list that applies, or something that is specifically related to AI. And then the second part is setting your goal for that value. So your goals often reflect what your values are. Your values are kind of, they're simple, they're not achievable. You never get to a value. But the goals are something that is actionable, okay? And then the thing with goals to do is, it can seem like a really big thing to accomplish. So for me, for instance, one of my goals for the past several months has been putting this workshop together. And to do that, I needed to break it down into small, actionable steps. Break it down into the sections that I have in it, break it down into the research that I was doing discussion groups, doing practice runs, doing all these different things to make it happen. And oftentimes it helps too to put dates or timelines on each of the action steps. And the more specific you can be with the action steps, the more likely you are to actually do the thing, So if I have phone calls I need to make the next day, oftentimes I'll write down, call my insurance, but also write the number down so that it's easy for me to do. It's not this abstract thing where I need to make adult phone calls next to them tomorrow. And then the next part kind of lines up with that. The last question is plan a timeline and execute. So think about your timeline for that. How long is each thing going to take you? When do you want to get things done? And this is kind of where you be your own boss on things. You have goals. You have to kind of set yourself your own deadlines. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'll give you a couple minutes to work on the worksheet. Anybody have any questions? These are just some other things to think about with the worksheet. Yeah, thinking about your own standards and also group standards that you're on, your workplace, your team, organizations that you are affiliated with. And what's your plan if you hit a wall? These walls are everywhere, just waiting for you to smash your face into them. And these you're keeping to yourself. You're not sharing them with anybody, so good for you. Maybe like another minute. Okay, I really hope that these will be helpful for you going forward, and I hope that you take this packet home with you and look back on it. That's some homework to kind of look back on all of this. Okay? I'm going to move forward. We'll play a game before we get into the serious stuff. Are you ready? Okay. We are at the 5-year reunion of this mindset training, which I'm putting on the calendar. Joking. So, pretend you have a drink in your hand, get up, wander around. You're going to be, we're 5 years from now, okay? So you are you 5 years from now, and you're talking from that place, as if you have achieved all of the things you want to achieve in the next 5 years, okay? So you're talking to each other, asking each other, oh, what have you been up to? What have you gotten done lately? How are you doing? Have you been living by your values? Your achieved goals? Just like, the basic questions. How are you? What's going on? And, yeah. So you guys know each other enough by now to reminisce. What do you think? Okay? Cocktail party time!
Pretty sure it's you. Yeah, one person is on autopilot.
The only thing that I would need, the camera equipment, I could if I want some very quick demo, wherever else is down, I have to do this. Oh, yeah, right, yeah, there's actually, there's further research into it. But if the camera's being done, like, a lot of people that were like, stay focused or stay. I forgot
Well, no, I've been watching it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's just thinking about it.
Right.
It's honestly it's the environment that is my biggest
Come back to like, what idea?
All right, everybody, party's over. Fun times over there. I hope you had fun, though. Now come back to your present self, right here, grounded in this workshop. Keep your head around a little. Take a breath, land in your seat. And wiggle a little, feel yourself here. Alright, so serious things now. We're going to talk about things on a societal value level related to artificial intelligence and how things are affecting the world in ways. A lot of it's really awesome. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We can read it too. Better? Ish? I can read it to you. Unless we specifically,
Unless we specifically make sure that the models do not unfairly punish poor people or Black people, we will end up with systems that do, and that is what we are seeing. This is a quote from Kathy O'Neill, and I have her book also. In my book, Show and Tell. This is a great book, Weapons of Math Destruction. Kathy O'Neill talks about WMDs. She's mostly talking about algorithms that are, okay, so WMDs, it's an acronym. W means widespread. So they're algorithms that are widespread that affect a large population of people. M is mysterious. So the people being affected by the algorithm don't know what's going into it, what the metrics are, or why the outcome is coming out the way it is. And D is destructive, meaning that it is unfairly punishing some people and potentially benefiting others, which is why it's there. It's kind of like setting out to solve problems and ending up making them worse. I really don't think people are malicious. I try to believe that. I just think that there's a lot of oversight. One of the examples that I like to give is when seatbelts were invented. When seatbelts were invented, they were made for the average sized man, and they were killing women and children. Were the people that invented seatbelts trying to murder women and children? No. But did they? I mean, yeah, they killed them. I mean, I don't know if it's murder. I think we need to step away from the blame a little bit. I think there's a lot of blame that comes with bias and all these things that are built into algorithms that cause harm. And just kind of have different ways of making sure that these things don't happen. By kind of checking on these things, keeping up with them, having a feedback, having some sort of systems around them. And with it moving so fast, it's really hard to really monitor how they're all these AI systems are affecting people. And do you guys know the ProPublica study? No, on the recidivism models. Anybody read that? No? Huh? No? Okay. This came out a couple years ago. ProPublica did a study looking at this private company that made an algorithm to determine which criminals were more likely to commit another crime. Anybody familiar? Yeah. And they used these algorithms to sentence criminals. And they had all these different metrics that they put into it. Race wasn't one of them, but they ended up being severely unbalanced race-wise, with Black people being overly estimated to commit more crimes and white people being underly estimated to commit more crimes. And people have a lot of different things to say about it, but the thing is that it reflects society as a whole. Like, we live in a society of systemic racism. And there's been a lot of resegregation of neighborhoods happening since about the 80s. I don't think that it was not segregated then, but there's been a lot of resegregation. They also have algorithms based on crime and over-policing for Black neighborhoods, potentially mostly poor Black neighborhoods. Which, it's just really not cool. Like, I don't really know. People need to stop treating others so much like with othering is something that I look into a lot, and difference is something that we have between us as people, and we come from a history of oppression and colonialism and slavery and all these things. So it makes sense, right? But it's horrible if you start researching it. It's really bad. But what I would like to see in a positive note is for AI to build systems that bring us out of oppression and to a place of more equality and not less. That's what I would like to see. I don't really know the answers. I'm hoping that putting all of this information on changing mindset and also on social, ethical, emotional awareness can help people come to these conclusions. Okay? And her book is really great. I would totally recommend reading it. She also has a lot of videos on YouTube you can watch that she explains her work more. Has anybody seen this TED Talk? A minute. Joy Buolamwini. She calls herself a poet of code. She she did some research. She was like photo recognition, computer vision work, and she came across this facial recognition system that didn't recognize black faces, and she put a white mask on her face, and it recognized that as a face, but it didn't recognize her face. And she was researching it and found that it's supposed to be like really diverse, but they mostly, I think it's like 70% white men that they test on, and like a lot less of women and a lot less of black people. So the percentage of black women is really, really small. There's also this concept called the same race concept, where, well, I don't know if I'm saying the name of it right, but sorry to not have my information like spot on for you guys, but I'm going to explain this anyway because I think it's important. It's an old idea, but it basically means that people that are in the same race, as far as appearance, can recognize people of that same race more than they can of other races. So when you're thinking about racial recognition, facial recognition technology, it's mostly based off of light-skinned white people. And sometimes like Asian people, like they don't show that their eyes are open. It's like, come on guys, really? Like, can you not do this? But then do you break it down? Like, so if we make facial recognition systems that come from the viewpoint of each race, and you're doing Asian, do you break it down into Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese? Like how much do you break it down? And all these are questions that are being asked right now. But there's it's weird. Like we saw with the height sorting algorithm, it's weird to be judging people in this way. And I mean, is it useful? Sure. I mean, you have on Facebook, it comes up and it knows whose faces are whose. It's just weird to me to be looking at people in this way and picking apart things like this. So I think that we just need to have a lot of compassion and mindfulness around it when we're designing these technologies and realize that these are people, you know, we're looking at people, and yeah, and what else was I going to say about it? I don't know. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little impromptu panel on ethics and artificial intelligence. So I need to straighten my chairs, and I need to have 3 people volunteer, and I will be the proctor unless someone else wants to ask the questions. But can I have 3 volunteers to come up to the stage? Yes. You.
We need to be for some.
You can close it. Thank you all for joining me here today for this panel on ethics and artificial intelligence. Let's give everyone a round of applause. So first, I want you to introduce yourselves and share a little bit about what your interest in ethics and AI is, or better yet, what does ethics mean to you in the context of artificial intelligence?
Okay, so I'm Stardust. I work for the Center for Effective Altruism, and we think a lot about how to make the world better, and also what risks there are, things that might make the world significantly worse. So we think a lot about AI and what impact it will have going forward. There are a lot of people in our community who are really concerned about our future, what. I'm sorry. Basically, the idea that like all the people who are alive now, there are going to be many, many more people living
in the next like 500 years than there are alive right now, and we should consider those people's well-being as well as the people who are currently living on Earth, and maybe we'll have colonies or whatever. But AI is definitely something that will impact that future, and if we sort of let it go without interfering, who knows where it's going to go. So we want to have some impact on making sure that people are thinking about it in really thoughtful ways and making sure that the things that they're doing aren't going to have accidental negative impacts.
Hi, I'm Mr. Bauer. I was in the Navy, nuclear technician. I used to work on nuclear reactors. I'm currently a student at San Francisco State University, and my interest in artificial intelligence is actually, I have quite a few, but to keep it brief, anything that makes the world a better place. When it comes to ethics, when I hear people talk about, for example, the fact that AI racial bias, I think that's a very important question to discuss. And I'm very much a fan of practicality. I think AI is going to, I think one of the biggest impacts AI could potentially have on us and our society is I think it could potentially make us ask some very uncomfortable questions about who we are as people and why there is so much wealth disparity between people who are sort of at the bottom and people who are at the top. And I am fascinated to see, because I think that if we approach it correctly, we really could change the world for the better. I think that's good enough.
Yeah, thank you.
We're open with that too.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Also, ethics for me in relation to artificial intelligence brings up
Yeah, no, it's about that.
the con. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
What it is to be human. And it's kind of like cloning, and the ethics of cloning in my mind of rights. How do you program something to learn? And everything that goes into that. To humanize something for it. To create an intelligence to do all the things that we see in movies. To be a surrogate child for, all the things, right? And at what point do they become, does the technology take on a life of its own? And what are the ethics around that?
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. I just want one of you to volunteer to answer. As AI engineers who are teaching machines in a machine learning context, so thinking of the engineers as machine teachers, what is the responsibility of machine teacher? Yeah, so I think a lot of the responsibility is really in making sure that is that okay? You can hear me if I really have it. What was I even saying? Something about
Yeah. So yeah, I think definitely building in ethical models, making sure that people are all treated with integrity, making sure that we don't have these algorithms that are preferentially like the Black women faces aren't recognized, or even there were several voice recognition things early on that didn't recognize any women's voices at all, just because they're in a very different register. Yeah, I think that it is there are definitely trade-offs to like getting something out fast versus doing it right. And I think making sure that anything that is going to have a huge impact on everybody is actually done right and not just, the hacky version that three guys in their basement came up with in like 1 month without really testing it anywhere else.
Great, thank you. If I run up to the other two of you, what are some real world problems that AI could potentially solve?
One of the things that I find myself thinking about a lot right now is sort of game theory and how it applies to politics and economics. Because when I look at the world around me, and I look at how people and how society makes decisions about how we run our country and how we, make financial decisions in big corporations. One of the things that I find ironic is a lot of times the people who are the most abused by, government or by, specific government parties are the people who are the most vocal in supporting those same parties. And so one of the things I'm kind of curious about is if we could figure out a way to sort of really combine those disciplines of AI and game theory to make a better system of government that is more fair, because it floors me to watch people who I, respect and care for vote for things that, we know are going to hurt them. It drives me a little bit crazy. So, yeah, I forgot what your original question was.
Oh, no, thank you. That was good. My last question is, what would you think a good policy on ethics would be, and in relation to that, whose ethics should be worked into a policy on AI?
Well, I would. Artificial intelligence working properly would ultimately affect the whole world. So a global panel representing all the nationalities with troubleshooting each other. So all the bases are covered. And that way you get all the perspectives and any concerns of issues being overlooked or not considered as far as, the facial recognition or the voice recognition or words being interpreted differently, different cultures having different emotional triggers to different phrases. All of that can be, not all of it, but a lot of it can be minimized. Again, it takes time, but it's doing it right. Not perfect, but right.
Yeah, thank you. And we can take one question from the audience.
How do you make sure that the data set you're working with is representative of a larger society and not just of like your own people?
Who would like to answer that?
So your question was how?
So artificial intelligence, whenever it's developed off of data, right? That's like the gasoline for like the artificial intelligence engine, right? So how do you make sure that your data set is actually representative of society as a whole and not just of like one segment or one individual group of people?
Well, I'm reminded of the space race and how it was actually multiple, pockets, groups, but the politics, left, and it became a mission of what's achievable. And here, I feel it's the same here. more international outreach?
My apologies. I think that's a fascinating question because things are so different depending on where you are. I don't know if that's actually an answerable question because, I've lived around the United States and I can tell you with utter confidence that the culture in San Francisco is extraordinarily different from the culture in, Charleston, South Carolina. So when you're talking about data sets and making sure there's no bias, in terms of like things that, I assume you're talking about, your question your question revolves around AI that interfaces with people in terms of things like facial recognition, voice recognition, things of this nature. And that's an incredibly challenging problem because even if you can, and that's one of the things I think you have to be aware of, is it's not just, okay, well, let's make sure we've got an equal number of, people of Japanese descent and African American descent and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Depending on what you're doing, you have no idea how, if it's just physical features, then that's one thing, but even, when it comes like, or voice or patterns of speech, all these things change dramatically depending on where you are. So in my mind, you almost have to build a system that's capable of adapting on the fly. And that's something that, as far as I'm aware, is not something we can do right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of the current data sets come from, things that are used primarily by people in affluent countries, and that is just kind of a problem that a lot of the data that we would like to use for these projects just isn't collected yet. So I think really if you're being fully committed to this, having diverse data sets, you probably have to do some data collection or fund organizations that are doing data collection.
Thank you. Can we give our panelists a hand of applause? And can you guys help me pull the chairs off the stage? Thank you, guys. How was that for everybody's exercise? I'd like to get different voices. Yeah.
I want to see more of these. It's really useful for me to get a diversity of opinions and just hear what are the thoughts, what are the questions that people have about ethics, and what are the thoughts that people have. And that was really useful for me.
Thank you. I'm actually holding monthly ethics and AI discussions. So we'll look at that.
I'm really curious about some other ideas that we didn't have time to talk about, like how there's been increased entrainment and how we're going to consider that with future programs. Are we going to let it keep going the way it is and people are not kind of getting away from being in real life with other people? There's also, increased sadness due to the increased use of Facebook and other social media. What about Sophia, the robot who became a citizen of Saudi Arabia in a Muslim country? So she's not even allowed to answer questions when she doesn't have her hamburger there because females aren't able to answer a single male in that country. So there's all these considerations that are really fascinating.
Should definitely do an entire workshop on this subject.
Yes.
Her question earlier really made me think about. I recently just watched this thing, and there's a Chinese company, and they took AI and they put it into a sex doll to try and make it more lifelike. And from the creators and stuff, they went into it the intention that how do you get AI to be a woman? Like women are so complicated kind of thing. So we'll plug them into the internet. And then the internet, right. So it's like, figured that the machine learning would pick up on it, and predictably, she is like hugely misogynistic and subservient, and all the very patriarchal view of women. And the creators were literally like, we don't know what to do. They went into the intention of trying to make this, have the internet be like a group thing. And essentially, like the internet as a whole.
I mean, that's exactly what we're seeing. Yeah.
The first one of those robots things was made in China.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I think I saw something on that.
I forgot who, but someone had a question about the AI thing for everyone, how we could do it for everyone. And what if each person made it for themselves and only for themselves? It would probably be really bad, but because people, coders and engineers trying to create something for everyone is literally impossible. Okay, I'm sorry, but it is.
High five, girl.
That's right.
Okay. Got it. High five. Nope, I have that feeling. We need to stop doing this thing where just a few people make decisions for everyone else. Yeah. I want to talk about this forever, but I do have one more section to get to, and we don't have very much more time, and I at least want to do the exercise for the meditation. Not working. My remote's not too. Yep, there we go. Okay. So I probably won't go through all the videos on this because we have used a lot of the time, but I think what we've been going over is really valuable, so I don't feel bad. So yeah, mindfulness. Does anyone have a mindfulness practice or familiar with mindfulness? Yeah. Ish. Okay. So mindfulness is a really great way to change your mindset. It can actually, as it shows in this video, I think I have, yes, okay, we're just going to talk about this here. So mindfulness has been shown to actually, so these are the parts of the brain. Anybody seen a brain before? No, but you could try. So you have your neocortex, which is the big brain, what we think of when we see a brain, your thinking, conscious brain. In the middle there is a lemon-shaped part, which is your emotional brain. The limbic system is your mammalian brain. And then you have down there the instinctive brain, your reptilian brain, the lizard brain. This is the oldest brain, second oldest, newest. I don't know why I'm not using my laser pointer. The lizard brain is where our fight or flight is, or instinctive reactions that are not always as good. And what meditation and mindfulness does is it actually shrinks this part of the brain and grows this part, which is kind of really neat. So yeah, that video goes over. We'll watch the next one because it's short. There we go. Okay, so this is just a little bit more about mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness has to do with awareness of the present, not judgmental, which we all have judgment, so it's more about not judging your judging, without attaching yourself to the moment, and developing mindfulness skills. Meditation is one form of mindfulness. It's not all of what mindfulness is. Has anybody ever meditated before? Okay, cool. We're going to do one in a minute. Some of the practical benefits, which this is not an exclusive, exhaustive list. It increases your focus, problem solving, control your mind, reduces stress and conflicts. Really, really helpful in a lot of ways. scientifically proven, as you'll see. We're gonna watch this one. We're gonna watch this one.
Mindfulness has quite a wide range of mental benefits. Mindfulness can really help with day-to-day tasks, so it can help with improving concentration and improving working memory. Working memory is when you hold a few pieces of information in your head at any one time. So for example, if you're doing mental math, and the evidence shows that mindfulness can really boost this and your ability to work things out quickly. Mindfulness can also help in thought processes. So, for example, if you're worried about something and you think about it over and over again, you might find yourself feeling a bit low, and that's called rumination. And mindfulness has been shown to reduce rumination.
Does anybody ever ruminate? You know what that means? Yeah, you kind of worry about things over and over in your head. So yeah, mindfulness helps with that, which is cool. These are just some of the many studies that have been done on mindfulness. One of my favorite, I think the University of Washington, and I could potentially be mistaken because I've pumped so much into my brain for this. But anyway, they did this study with white people to show them pictures, flashing pictures of people, and then they did a meditation for 10 minutes, and then they did it again, and they were actually able to reduce racial bias. So trying to picture and say like good, bad for people, reducing racial bias through freaking meditation. Like, really? Really happened. Of course, inflammatory health benefits, body, very, very good for your immune system, your lymphatic system, your muscles, everything. Resilience, which has to do with all the growth mindset stuff. Improving, we've done, all of these are individual studies that have been done with proving these things that just summed up in like a little blurb. So yeah. Improving affection and empathy towards others, which is really cool. I think that's really neat. So we're going to do our own little mindfulness test study. We're going to do a study. Are you guys ready? We're going to do a study? Okay. So have you guys seen this before? It's the Stroop test? Okay, so I want you to kind of like mumble it under your breath to yourself. And like, you know, it says here, you say the color of the ink, not the type of the word. Just kind of see how you do. Are you getting it right? Sort of. So we're going to do a meditation, we're going to do it again. Okay? We'll play this video. That's it, all meditation style.
Mindful breathing. Close your eyes and rest your hands on your knees. Bring your attention to the touch of your body on your seat. Feel the weight of your body on your chair or cushion. Make sure that your back is straight and that you're comfortable. Take a few deep breaths. While you're breathing deeply, relax your shoulders, your stomach muscles, the muscles in your face, your hands, and your legs. Let go of all the tightness in your body. Now bring your attention back to your breath. Notice what it feels like as it enters through your nose, goes down through your throat, filling your lungs, and back out through your nose.
Notice your stomach and chest rise and fall each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. And just allow your breathing to be natural and relaxed. Now bring your attention to the feeling of your breath in your nose. Feel your breath as it comes in and goes out. Just focus on this sensation, paying attention to each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. As you inhale, maybe your breath feels cool. And as you exhale, maybe it feels a little warmer. When your mind wanders, or if you become distracted, just notice what's going on in your head, and then gently bring your attention back to your breath, going in and out. Focus on the feeling of your breath, and allow thoughts and feelings to come and go in the background. Now gently bring your attention back to the touch of your body on your seat, and open your eyes.
So I want to do a little drawing exercise after that, just to further
Get your creative brain going. Out of your thinking. So, draw that. It could just be a box with circles. I don't care. You could get really fancy. Just a couple minutes. You don't have to draw one of the ones that's up there. It could be an imaginary one. Okay, now we're going to try the street test again. Ready? Now try this again. You say it under your breath to yourself. A little tricky. That's alright. I feel like there's some. Yeah, this third line where it goes like the red is blue, you're like blue, or okay, orange is blue, blue, no, it's red. Let's see where it goes. There, blue, 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 no. It's really tricky, this one. How did you guys do on this one compared to the first time you did it? Make a difference? A little? This is a test that's been done before. We didn't like record it and do any data collection on it. It's just kind of a testing yourself in your head this time, but I just wanted to do our own little experiment with it. How did that feel? How was the meditation? It took me a long time to find a meditation that didn't have too much woo in it. So you're welcome.
What is what? Woo!
Woo?
Yeah.
Just like where it's too like spiritual and hippy dippy and picture yourself as a cloud floating in the universe with a soul. Whatever. Anyway. Great. Thanks guys for participating in that. So we're going to conclude everything. I just wanted to reiterate some of the main points about the brain being a muscle and it gets stronger when you embrace your challenges. Roar! I just like that little guy, he's cute. And just some things to be mindful about. You know, how are we applying mindfulness to artificial intelligence? How are we using this tool of mindfulness or using the tool they have? So some things to be mindful about, what you're creating and why. We have so many blind spots. You know, we get so stuck on like solving a problem that we don't see how it might be affecting things that we're not even thinking about, and how that affects the world, and how to kind of come back and check things, you know, and communicate, listen. And you have a choice about these things. You know, you have a choice to be mindful. This is hard. It's a hard choice, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, and that's it. Before we do comments and questions, I'd like to bring my fearless leader, Laura, up to talk about some of the other workshops and trainings we have coming up.
Thanks everyone for joining us today. So just to reiterate again, I'm Laura, the founder of Excel AI. We are a nonprofit organization on a mission to lower the barriers to entry in engineering artificial intelligence. We like to focus on underrepresented groups in tech, women, people of color, LGBTQ individuals, people with disabilities, and also people potentially going to be displaced due to automation. So with that, we do a lot of different social impact initiatives, a lot of trainings such as this on mindfulness and ethics in AI. But we also do a lot of applied engineering workshops and trainings as well, and we hold research discussions. So there's a few research discussions that will be happening this month as well. I'll be leading one of them, Olivia will be leading another one, and we like them to focus on different topics. Some of them are more, rigorous and intensive and focused on mathematics and the algorithms. Others are more focused on ethics and even user design when you're doing AI engineering. So if you would like to join some of our other events, please go on our website. That's www.excel.ai. You can also find us on Meetup. We are the AI and Deep Learning Enthusiasts. We're also on all the other social media pages as well. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those things. Please find us and join our community and our network. We really like to foster cross-collaboration between groups, and we hope more of you will come and spread the word and kind of be part of the community. One of our goals with the Meetup group specifically is we would like to empower individuals to really make the group their own. So if there's a specific subject within artificial intelligence that you would like to study, if you want to host a study session, if you want to lead a research discussion, we seriously empower you and encourage you to do that as well, and become part of the community and part of our network. So thank you again for joining us today, and I hope you will continue to be a part of our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Laura. I am going to be leading this workshop again on March 3rd at OmniCommons, also in Oakland. So if you know anyone that missed it, it'll be about the same information, but we're going to switch things up a little bit and add some more information that's research I'm going to be doing between now and then, and maybe switch up the exercises a little, the feedback that we get. We're doing online feedback forms?
Yes, we'll be sending out a survey. So we really want your feedback. We want to make sure we can improve these over time and kind of boost the quality. And if there's something that you think was lacking that we could include in the future, we would also love to hear that as well. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that email and we'll send it out to you.
And I can also send the slide deck, especially since I've got like a bazillion resources to share. References, because, you know. All right, so I wanted to open up the floor for any comments or questions, reflections, anything.
I walked in late, I'm very sorry about that. So this might have been already answered, but will there be a video of this posted somewhere? Or?
Yes, it's been recorded. It is on our YouTube channel. I will send the links as well with the survey.
So on YouTube now?
Just a little plug that I think the audience might find interesting. McKinsey, the consulting company, recently released an article about the limitations of AI and known problems in ethics and applications for it. So I don't have the link, I can't remember the link, but it should be pretty easy to find. I think it would be good for you to ask.
Oh, there was a request earlier to kind of share the group's contact information. So if anyone does not want their contact information shared, if you can just message me personally or talk to me personally before you leave today, and then I'll make sure to take your information off that list. But someone did ask that, you know, we kind of allow each other to connect in that network. So if you do not want your email sent out on that list, please just let me know, and I won't include you in that list when I resend the email.
Any other closing comments and questions? Thank you guys all so much for coming. We really appreciate you participating in this, and hope that there's some takeaways you can bring home with you. If you have a minute to help clean up, you can kind of maybe collect the papers or pull the chairs up, then that would be super helpful. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope to see you again at another event.